Hey, Disney cruisers, and welcome back to the DCL community, where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruise. You guys know me. I'm Rebecca, your host and admin of the DCL community. And today we're talking all things Disney Adventure, and specifically Disney Adventure staterooms. Because if you're new around here, we just did last month, we did a whole breakdown on the Disney Cruise Line staterooms. But the Adventure is different for a lot of reasons, but especially these staterooms. So I am so excited to be getting into all the details here. As you're coming in, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from so we can say hi. But Tammy, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, I am Tammy. I am the owner of Storybook Destinations and also the author of the Unofficial Guide to Disney Cruise Line. And I know a lot about staterooms. I probably have an unhealthy joy of studying those deck plans when they come out to see what looks like a good one, what's something we might not know. So I love this part.
Yes. Oh, I love it too. And if you missed part one where we went through all the Disney Cruise Line staterooms on the other classes of ships, definitely go back to the DCL community and check that out, because there were some staterooms I didn't even know existed that Tammy told me about. So bring your pen and paper. And if you're ready to plan your Disney cruise, please reach out to Tammy and her team. They are Disney Cruise Line experts, and they can help you decide not only on the stateroom, but the ship, the itinerary. If you need travel insurance, transfers, anything you need, they have got you covered. And their planning services are actually free for you to utilize. So what a great win-win. But let's go ahead and get this loaded up. And if you guys have any questions, please say hello. We have some friends from Indiana, Florida, someone from Taiwan watching. That's fun. Oh my gosh. Well, hello to everyone. And yes, we're going through, ask us any questions, but let's go ahead and dive into all things adventure.
Okay. Yeah. So the Adventure, obviously we have not been on that yet. No one has been on there as a guest anyway. And so some of this is just, it's all assumptions, but based on good facts. And so based on previous experience with different ships and experience with how Disney uses their deck plans and whatnot. It is concept art, so it's going to look a little bit different than the concept art, but concept art is close. There's a reason for it, and it's very close to what it's actually going to look like. We can really tell a lot from it, and it'll be fun to see what changes there are when we actually are on board.
Agreed. I was going to say, as long as those blankets are there, I feel like the blankets with the ship name are so iconic on the Wish class now. So as long as those are there, everybody's happy, right?
You're right. I love how they put the Adventure blanket in their main stateroom photo here, because that's probably what made everybody go, oh, it's a Disney ship. Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
Yes.
Yeah. So the names and category numbers are very similar, and they're going to start at 11. It's going to be the lowest category up to 1 for the Royal Suites. And the Adventure, though, does have many more category types. There's 28 category types, with a heavy emphasis on Concierge for the Adventure. And everything we've heard about the Adventure is Concierge is going to be a very exclusive experience with a lot more benefits than a typical Disney Cruise Line Concierge. And so we're excited about that. Lots of themes for this one, just like the Wish class ships. There's going to be themes in the staterooms. Frozen, Encanto, Lion King, Up, Little Mermaid, Finding Nemo, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of fun stateroom themes.
Yes, I'm so excited for this. And if you're like, oh my gosh, my little one loves Lion King, or I love Finding Nemo, which I do, Tammy and her team can help you choose what stateroom you want based on these themes, if that is super duper important to you. So don't stress about that. Let's talk about some of these differences. And I already see some questions coming in. So guys, keep sending them, and we'll get to them as we're going through.
Okay, yeah. So the biggest difference for me is there are no tubs. Their tubs are not standard in their staterooms. And as a tub person, I'm so sad.
Yeah, I was going to say that feels like a little bit of a letdown from like the family vibes.
It does. And I don't know if that is just a different, it's for a different market, or if it's because the ship had progressed enough when Disney purchased it that it wasn't easy for them to add them. Whatever it is, there are very, very few tubs on board. I mean, there might be 4 tubs on board, 4 or 5. There's very, very few. So just prepare yourself if you are a tub person. There are split bathrooms everywhere. We've all come to love split bathrooms, and thank goodness those are still there.
Yeah, amen.
in every category. And several of these stateroom categories, as we'll see, do not have the word deluxe in them. And normally that is a signifier that it's got a split bathroom in the other classes of ships. But here it does not matter. Even the lowest category has split bathrooms.
Got it. Good to know.
There are also inside concierge staterooms, which we've never seen before. The Wish class ships introduced concierge staterooms without verandas, and the Adventure is introducing concierge staterooms without a window of any kind.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say it makes it a little bit more accessible price-wise. I mean, I'm assuming I haven't seen the prices for concierge. I've never actually sailed concierge. And I see a couple of people asking about what concierge is. If you want to know all the details on that, Tammy has got your back. She knows it inside and out. But I'm assuming that the inside concierge stateroom makes it a little bit more accessible. I know we'll get into all of them, but that's just so interesting that they added it in.
Well, it is interesting. Yeah, it is. And we'll see that some of the concierge staterooms are set up really, really nice. They're very interesting. Also, category 4 is normally the most expensive non-concierge stateroom and on the other Disney ships. And here it's actually concierge. So that's another difference there. And then probably the biggest difference for this ship compared to the other ships is that some of the staterooms have inward views, meaning they don't look at the ocean. And they're not inside rooms. They do have a veranda or a porthole, but they're looking at these two spaces in the ship, one called the Imagination Garden, one called Discovery Reef. And you can see kind of a picture concept art there of Imagination Garden. And you can see some of the verandas looking in. So it's looking inside the ship, which is not a new concept at all, but it's new for Disney.
Yes, I know. I was so intrigued when that came out because Royal's been doing. I'm sure other cruise lines have been doing it for a while. So to see Disney utilize that space and that view, I'm very interested to see what it's going to be like. And then we've got the question: are the inside staterooms going to have a split bath as well?
Yes, they do.
Awesome. And would you recommend your first time concierge on the Adventure, or should I do that on another Disney ship?
If you're going to get to the Adventure first, it's a little bit harder for us to get to here in the States. But if it's easier for you to get to, or if you're going to get there first, I mean, absolutely try it because it looks like it's going to be amazing. The concept art for the sun deck and all of that looks beautiful. But if you're getting somewhere else first, try it wherever you can.
Yes, agreed. And then somebody's asking, do you know if you're still going to be able to potentially upgrade at the port like you can at Canaveral?
We don't know for sure yet, but I would think so. That's pretty standard with cruise lines, especially Disney. So, when they don't sell everything, somebody has to cancel last minute, whatever it is, they want to sell those rooms. So getting a little bit more money for them is in their best interest. So I think it's a pretty safe bet.
Amen to that. Keep the questions coming, guys. Let's go ahead and let's go through some of your recommendations. And when I tell y'all that Tammy has studied these deck plans, her and Scott over at the DCL blog, I mean, y'all do the research so that we don't have to. You guys are the best, the absolute best. And hello to our friends in Germany watching too. So exciting.
Okay, so we'll start with the inside stateroom. This one is very, very different than anything that we're used to seeing. You'll look in this picture, there is no bed sitting. There's no bed. It's out all the time. And it's not because the bed is behind you. There is not a bed in that room during the day. But when it's made out, and I think if you click one more time, we'll get the picture of it with the beds made, the benches, those are benches turned into beds there. And it will sleep 3 to 4. The bunk bed will pull down above it, above those. But they're single beds. And I'm going to assume, I think it's a pretty safe bet that they can be pushed together. They are 4 single beds. And
so interesting.
It is, and it's very small. It's 145 to 165 square feet. Those are very small staterooms.
Yeah, and I can imagine. Do you know how does that compare to inside staterooms across the other parts of the fleet?
That is definitely smaller. I want to say there are some other cruise lines that will start that smaller, but Disney's are generally much bigger than that. I think still under 200 square feet. I should have looked at that before we started, but much more than 165. And when you're talking a big percentage jump when it's that small, it's also I will say very reasonably priced. The Adventure in general has some pretty decent prices. I think we were all a little bit surprised when they first came out. And these inside staterooms, very, very well priced.
Yeah, that is awesome to keep in mind. And, if you just want to get on the ship to explore the ship, kind of make it a quicker experience. But I mean, this is a very new setup for Disney. And if you're on a budget, great. But you have to be an efficient packer, which I am not.
That's true. Me too. Yeah. And we're gonna see those staterooms again in other categories, which is that setup, which is very interesting. So just some of my recommendations, looking at the deck plans, it certainly looks like these 4 there at the top, 15710, 15712, are a little bit bigger. They have a little bit more room. And Disney does, give us a range of sizes there. So clearly some of them are bigger than others. And those are 4 of them that look like they are bigger than other ones.
Got it. Good to know. Good calls. Any extra space is always helpful. And what about category 10?
So category 10 is a deluxe inside stateroom. And so it gets a little bit bigger. It's up to 209 square feet there. And they have 10B, C, and D are true inside staterooms, better size. They still have that 200 square feet, but the 10As actually have a reef view. So yeah, you're going to get natural light in there, which is almost like a secret porthole room in that, it's not a veranda you can step out on, but being able to look out onto the reef, you're going to get some natural light in there during the day and whatnot. So I like it. I like the 10As.
Yeah, and somebody was asking about the inside staterooms and if the magic portholes are going to come back. I know those were a favorite when they got brought onto the Dream Fantasy. Any word on that?
I have never heard why they did not put them. I've never heard an official answer, I should say, why they didn't put them on the Wish class ships. They are not going to be on the Adventure as far as we know. And I think Disney would have promoted them by now if they were going to, because they are very popular. They're very cool.
They are so cool. I love a magic porthole, but having the reef view, and somebody's asking, what is the reef?
The reef it's called Discovery Reef, and it's one of the areas on the ship that is open air, and the staterooms will line it on the sides, and different activities will take place during the day. There's some shops, there's some other things down there to see. So when you're out on your veranda or looking out your window, you can see the activity happening below. It's similar, if you've ever been on a royal ship that's that big, to the Central Park is in the middle there, and you look down, it looks almost like you're looking in a park with trees and everything else growing in the middle of the ship, or the boardwalk on the backside where there's a carousel, there's other things taking place on these royal ships. And it's that similar idea. So you're looking outside, but not out into the ocean. You're looking into an outdoor area of the ship.
Good to know. And I know that somebody watching right now is like, oh, does that mean that it's going to be really loud, or that people are going to be looking into my stateroom? Do you have any concerns about volume or privacy in a room that has an inside view versus ocean view?
Right. I have stayed in those type of rooms on Royal before, and I've been amazed at how well they control the sound there. Once we shut that veranda door, boy, we could not hear all of the activities taking place out there. I will say we were just on Star of the Seas, and someone in our group had a Central Park view, and he did notice that he could see into the staterooms across very, very well.
Good to know. Okay.
You can draw curtains when you want to, but he said he could see across very well. So if that's a concern, you may want to avoid those.
I was going to say, there's nothing like being able to just, you're out at sea, your windows are open, you kind of do whatever you want. But when you go to open your windows and you're standing there in your pajamas and you see somebody looking across at you from another ship, it's like, oh gosh,
that's right.
There are other people. And let's see, Mike is asking, family of 5, kids are 10, 8, and 5, first time cruising, family suite or adjoining staterooms. I'm not sure if you mean specifically on the Adventure or not, but any tips on that one?
In general, I mean, I love family suites. They're nice and big. But with a family that size, it's also really nice to have 2 bathrooms. So often getting 2 connecting rooms is a great option. And as we go through some of these on the Adventure specifically, some of them hold a surprising number of people. We're not to any of those yet. We're still in the 3 and 4, but some of them hold a surprising number of people with more than 1 bathroom. So
I'm excited to get into those. Mike, I would definitely say reach out to Tammy and she can help price out different options for you depending on the ship as well. Let's go over to 9As.
Okay, so see, we have the bench beds here again. Bench beds. I don't know what else to call them.
And
Bench
yes,
seating beds. These have an ocean view though, and they are about that same size. But it's that same size stateroom, but with an outside view.
interesting. Interesting. Just interesting concept. Do you know, are these common on other cruise lines that are, or
They
other ships that are based in Asia?
They are, and they are pretty common on some older ships around here too. And there's some I've seen some staterooms on even some of the newer ships. You can just fit so many people in there in so much less space. So it's
Yeah.
popular. It's popular when you want to save a little bit of money and don't care about your room. But they are very small.
Very good to know.
As I was studying the deck plan, it looks like the category 9s there that are forward, those green ones, those are large. Those are larger than the other ones. And as you get closer to the center of the ship, they get even a little bit larger. So that would be my pick for that category.
Yes, love that. And someone's asking, what's the difference between the A, B, C that you mentioned?
That is pretty standard in all of Disney ships. And so A generally is more desirable than B, C, D. But it is usually more expensive when you increase in that letter. But sometimes the A and the B don't make a difference to you. It's just what Disney considers more desirable. And usually it's something like it's more midship. It's a higher deck. It's more midship. If those are things that you don't care about, then you don't need to pay for the A and you'll be very happy in the D, so and save some money.
I was going to say, Tammy's so good at prioritizing and helping you prioritize. So another great thing to talk through with her. And what about the 8 A's?
So the 8 A's are deluxe Oceanview staterooms, and they have a queen bed and a sofa bed. So there's a lot more room again here, and they're 209 square feet. So we're back to the bigger, more standard size for these staterooms.
Love that. And let's see. Mary is asking, what about for solo cruisers? I've been wanting to try Disney, but the fact that I have to pay for 2 to get on the ship is just tough. Would you recommend a solo cruise on the Adventure with these couch beds?
For price, absolutely. You're still going to pay that, that double occupancy fee, which is a single supplement, which is, I understand, not great, but these prices on this ship are so reasonable that room actually you would fit in pretty well as a solo. We've done a solo room before on Virgin Voyages, and oh my goodness, it was the smallest room I've ever stepped foot inside, and it was probably about this size, but in reality, it was perfect for one person. So
yeah, perfect for just a couple of days for one.
Mhm.
And if you have more than one, you just have to make sure you really, really like who you're traveling with. Easy peasy.
That's true. Okay, and there I like the forward staterooms again for the views, and it's the same kind of thing. As they get closer to the center, they're going to get a little bit bigger, but also the views are going to be great up there.
Oh my gosh, yes. The views from that one stateroom that you were in were just floor to ceiling windows.
Yes. I love those far forward staterooms on any ship and on the Wish class, the ones with the floor to ceiling windows. Oh, love those. Yes.
That's such good choices. What about 7?
The 7 is, so this is a same bench style seating. This one is interesting because this one has 3 different options for views. It has ocean view, Discovery Reef, or Imagination Garden. So you're going to have some of them that are going to look out into those 2 spaces that we were talking about before. It also is a bigger stateroom, but it's bigger because it does include the veranda. So I suspect that interior portion is pretty close to the same as the other ones with the bench seating that we've seen, but it includes the veranda, so it's going to get bigger there. And for as far as which room to pick there, I would pick, do you want to look at the ocean? Do you want to look at Discovery Reef or Imagination Garden? And just pick which one you want there.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. I mean, any of the views are going to be great. Disney doesn't do not beautiful things on their ships. I know I'm so excited to see when it, kind of actually comes to life and we get not just the art, the renderings of it.
Yes.
But Shelby is asking, you've mentioned forward staterooms. Do you have to be worried about motion sickness? My 3-year-old gets so sick in the car, so worried about these staterooms for him.
In general, the front and the back of the ships are going to have a little bit more motion. So if you're really worried about it, I would stick to midship on a lower deck as much as you can. I don't find it excessive motion
Yeah.
in the front. I mean, a lot more movement than anywhere else on this ship. But if you are worried about it, I would stick to more midship.
Yeah, and I'm right there with your kiddo. I get so motion sick, car, plane, train, you name it. So I find in general it's not too bad on Disney ships. They do a lot of things to keep everything as comfortable as can be. So take those precautions ahead of time. But Tammy and her team can definitely help you choose a ship that will give you the least likelihood. But unfortunately, we're not able to control the weather. I wish we could. That would be great, right? And then Valentina was asking, what if it rains? I guess for those inside or internal looking veranda staterooms. Are there any issues with it being open air
No,
and having?
same. It will be same as looking out at the ocean when it's raining at the ocean. You wouldn't have as much activity out there probably to watch, but you wouldn't have any problems with it coming into your room or anything like that.
Awesome, love it. And what about category 6?
So category 6 is a pretty good jump in square footage as well. It's more typical for what we're used to, 253 square feet, and with a typical ocean view. And there are a few on the next screen, I believe, that look even bigger than the other. Yes. Yeah. Some of those nice verandas that we're used to, like on 4Es on the back of the ship. Sometimes you get those big verandas and some nice size staterooms there. So yeah, those look good.
Oh my gosh, those sound like a dream. Sign me up for those guys. That sounds incredible. And what about category 5?
Category 5 is almost the exact same as the category before, but these are reef views and garden views. And they are all identical setups. So really same here. You want to pick whether you want to look at the reef or garden. Imagination, every reef.
And Katie is actually asking, just on that topic, which would you choose? I guess between reef, garden, and the ocean view.
I would probably, I'd like to stay in all of them to try them. I
agreed. Sign me up for a back in the different categories.
I do a reef or garden, either one, as opposed to an ocean, just because, I can see an ocean view anytime on a Disney ship. I want to try these new spaces.
Yeah, so true. It's just something different. And oh gosh, I mean, it's been so successful on royal ships that they wouldn't keep doing it if it wasn't working and it wasn't popular. So those are the ones that I'm most curious about too. And especially with the different events that go on in those spaces, being able to have your own kind of private area and not having to, fight through crowds. You can sit there with your room service if you want to, with your bottle of Cloud and Blue and, your all hands platter, and just enjoy.
That's so true. Like Imagination Garden with the stage there, and how many shows they say are going to take place on these stages. Those would be so fun to sit on your balcony and just watch the show from there. Take pictures, not worry about anybody else, just like you said.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, okay. I just sold myself on that one. So sign me up. Sign me up. And what about category 4?
Okay, so we're already up to concierge because there are so many concierge rooms on this ship. So this is the inside concierge. It's the least expensive concierge category, but look, it's massive. It sleeps up to 6 people.
That's incredible.
There are 2 bedrooms in there, which, I mean, who doesn't love that? There's 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So yeah, there's a king bed, there's a sofa bed, and a full bed. So I think it's 420 square feet. So these inside concierge rooms are really neat.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I feel like Disney, and spent very limited time in any concierge rooms with friends and family traveling, but I feel like they do such a good job with storage in there. Just having as many possible places to put things, and when you're traveling in a condensed space with that many people, having options for that is always good. So this might be the perfect option for those bigger families. It sleeps up to 6. So you said it's a pull down bunk?
Yeah, it's a king size bed, a sofa bed, and a full bed. And a bed in the second bedroom. Yeah.
Love that. And Mariah is asking, or yes, I think it's Mariah. It might be Maria. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. But is asking if adults could fit on the sofa bed.
Usually I'm going to go with Disney's normal, since we haven't tried this one. Usually they're not great for really tall people. I think once you get up above 5'10" or so. You're not going to be really comfortable if you like to sleep straight. If you're fine curling up, which a lot of us are when we sleep in anyway, then you're probably fine. So yes, you can. But also, if this is a sofa bed, a true sofa bed that pulls out like a sofa bed, which many do on Disney ships, then it's going to be like most sofa beds that you would sleep on at home or in other hotels. And so if you fit comfortably there, you would fit comfortably there. It's probably a little bit more comfortable than actually just changing it into a single bed, because then you can at least sleep diagonally.
Yeah, yes, true. And I will say, so I'm over 5'10". I'm the shrimp of the family when it comes to height. And, I have lots of family who's taller than me who has slept on the sofa beds very recently and had no issues. We definitely tend to curl up, but even if you're sleeping straight and your toes are hanging off a smidgen, we're still plenty comfortable. And Matt is asking, this room sounds perfect, but I've never stayed in an inside stateroom before. Do you think it's worth it just to get into concierge?
It may be, and I should qualify, if you're going to put a lot of people in the room, it's going to get expensive quick. But you can fit a lot of people in this room, which is nice. And these base prices for their concierge started pretty low, so it's still very reasonable compared to what we're seeing in the ships here out of Florida. I think an inside view, it's inside stateroom is perfectly reasonable. It is. I actually stayed in one just a couple weeks ago, and it's not my favorite. I definitely prefer to have natural light. That's a big thing for me, to wake up in the mornings. But it's hopefully nice and bright, as a lot of these newer inside staterooms are. Especially, it's nice and bright, and it's still a good space. So I would not skip a cruise. If I could only afford inside, I would still do inside if that was all that was available, or if that was what was chosen for me. I'd absolutely still go on the cruise. I like natural light, so I'd upgrade if I could. But this is a pretty good option here with this size and this many beds in there, and occupancy level with 2 bathrooms. So this is a very good option for an inside stateroom.
Totally agree with you. And like we've been saying, if you're trying to figure out the best option, Tammy and her team can talk you through the different configurations, and maybe somebody gets concierge. So, the adults who are paying for it can try it. But, the kids, if they're a little bit older or grandkids or in-laws or whoever it is, they can have another room a deck or two below. There's different ways to work it to stay within whatever budget you have in mind. So definitely reach out. I'm going to get the link to your page on the DCL community site up on screen again. But talk us through some of these rooms that you picked out.
So there's 2. These are all pretty equal looking, but those 2 right there, 16,750 and 16,751. They're nice because they're close to the elevator, but they're not right up on top of the elevator. So those were 2 that jumped out at me if you're looking for a recommendation on 2 of them.
Yes. And I know it's not a popular opinion. I love being by an elevator.
I like being by the elevator too. Yes.
Right. I know. And I'm like, shh, don't tell the whole internet. But I'm like, go ahead, people. You want to be all the way front, you want to be all the way back, that's fine. But
I agree. It's so convenient. It's so easy to get. Oh, I forgot something in my room. Let me run back. It's super convenient. It's worth the trade-off in occasional, foot traffic noise.
Yes, agreed, 1,000,000%. And what about category 4A here, or 4A through C?
A through C. So these are also 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and sleep up to 6. And you'll see they're a very big size. They're 499 square feet to 545 square feet. These are concierge family staterooms, and they have garden view or ocean view. No reef view on these, but garden view or ocean view. And so for those, whichever one jumps out at you there, if you want to look at the ocean or if you want to try the imagination garden view.
Yes. Oh, such good options. And where was that question from Emmy? She's asking, do you know if Disney's going to be supplying the pack and plays like they do on the other ships?
I just saw that, and I believe I want to say yes. I hope I'm not confusing my emails, but I believe I did just see that, and I would expect that, yes, you would be able to do that, especially traveling that far. It would be very difficult to bring that. So yes, I would certainly think they would.
Yes, and I was going to say, you've got experience traveling with an infant too. I would say it's so stinking cute. So if you need tips about traveling with little ones too, Tammy's got you covered there. There's really not much you don't know about traveling, just in general. So she's got you covered regardless. But man, these look huge.
Yes, those 2. There's 2 yellow ones there, 16,708 and 16,707. Those are have great size verandas there. And then interestingly, there are two on the other side of the green there, 16206 and 16106. They only have queen beds instead of king beds. And I cannot quite figure out why those would be different. There's a slight curve at the end there, and maybe that is keeping them from having the king bed as the curvature of the ship there. So that's my guess. So I would probably avoid those two, and I would pick the two far forward if you can't, and if not, just pick any of the others.
Details I would have never noticed. She's like noticing the curves of the wall. That is so cool. Look at these, just beautiful. Category 3C.
Yes, 3C is back to 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom. This is an Oceanview, which is, not unheard of, as Disney has started to do that, but this one's an Oceanview, no veranda. And it's 419 square feet, and they're all pretty equal in choices. You can see it looks like a really pretty setup in that room there. But there is a bedroom that separates from the living area, which is nice.
Awesome. And Shelley's asking, do you know if the benefits for Concierge on the Adventure are going to be the same as the other ships?
It appears there are more, and they have an exclusive spa. They have an exclusive spa day rooms that they can rent. There are shopping. They're shopping just for Concierge. There's, what else am I forgetting? There are a lot of things they have told us that we were surprised by that are great add-ons for the Adventure. And the sun deck is huge with pools and hot tubs, and the lounge it looks beautiful in the concept art. So yeah, I'm going in January. Very excited to see it all, to see it in person and see how this concept art turns out.
Oh my gosh, yes, I'm excited for you. I'll be fully living through you. And then, does Disney have any affiliated hotels or transportation? Since this won't be sailing from one of their usual Florida ports or even U.S. ports.
Right, and they do, and they just released their transportation prices just the other day, and they were very reasonable, 23, 26. I forget what it was exactly. It was in the 20s. And Marina Bay, the cruise terminal is not far from the airport. I think it's about a 20-minute drive. So there are options to get there, taxis and whatnot if you came in early. And there are a lot. We have a chapter in the book coming out. The one for 2026, you can pre-order it now. There's a chapter in Singapore about traveling about and good ways to travel around in Singapore, getting there, some hotel recommendations, and things to do while you're there. I would definitely recommend if you're going that far to Singapore, and I'm talking as someone who's flying from all the way over here, that you stay a few extra days, that you do a back-to-back cruise, and that you add on some days to see Singapore and the beautiful city that it is.
So true. And tell us, where can we get this book? Because I know people are going to start thinking about holiday shopping. This would be the perfect gift for the Disney Cruise Line fan in anybody's life. Where can someone get this book, or get the current one, or pre-order the 2026 version?
It is. You can get either one on Amazon. The 2025 version is out now. The 2026 version, which will have a lot more about the adventure in it, you can pre-order it now on Amazon, and it comes out December 2nd.
Oh my gosh, how perfect for the holidays. If anyone is shopping for me, I wear a size any cruise and would like a billion copies of this book, please. I have shelves here that it would just be so perfect on. I have
it would be perfect there.
Right? Oh my gosh. Okay, so excited about these. And then let's see, what about category 3A and 3B?
3A and 3B are also very interesting. I actually have one of these booked in January. They do not have a separate bedroom, a bedroom that closes, but they're quite large because their verandas are quite large, and they're big rooms. They're not small rooms at all. There you can see the dining room table there and everything. But they range from 729 to 1,037 square feet, and that's going to vary based on the veranda side, but they have some nice wraparound verandas. And I think I have pictures. Do I have a graphic on the next page for that?
Oh my gosh.
So the three Bs there are on the back, and there's a few of those. And it's interesting because they all look pretty much the same, but Disney does give us a range for the square feet there. So some of those verandas must not be quite as big as they look, or they have some obstructions on the veranda, but they still look great. They are nice wraparound verandas there. Those are the three Bs.
Oh my gosh, what great views. And remind us the name of your book one more time.
The Unofficial Guide to Disney Cruise Line. I would hold it up, but I don't know if you can see it in the, but that's it.
I was going to say, I can pop this down. Let's pop that down for a second.
It's pretty big. There's a lot of information in there. This is this year's book.
What other things are included in there besides the adventure?
It addresses, this is every ship. It talks about every stateroom category. We have recommendations for excursions. We have what to do the day you arrive, how to get there, recommendations for places to stay in the port cities, the departure port cities, and where to stay and what to do while you're there. I mean, I like to think it could answer almost any question you have, but if I haven't thought of one, you should send me a message and tell me that so I can add it.
Yes. Oh my gosh, absolutely. I was going to say, it truly is your guide. In addition to having Tammy and her team's help in booking everything, this will make you expert upon expert on all things DCL. And I love that you do it annually because things change so much.
They do. They change so much. I mean, this year we have a whole new giant ship, to add in. So really two ships, but
yeah, this is so exciting. And this veranda looked insane.
It does. This is a 3A, and there's only one of them, and that is it. And it's a good sized room. It's the same probably size room as the others that we were looking at, the 3Bs. But look at the veranda. It's huge, and there's a hot tub on it. And
my gosh, so sign me up. Sign me up. What about category 2B and 2C?
2B and 2Cs are Concierge Oceanview again, so no veranda on these, but they're big and they sleep 6 and they have 2 bedrooms. The 2B and then the 2Bs are much bigger than the 2Cs. So if you want a lot of space, the 2B is much bigger. It is 1,053 square feet versus the 2C, which is 794 square feet.
I was just thinking like 10 times bigger than those inside rooms we started with. Oh my goodness, just incredible.
Well, that's true. And there they are. There's not very many of either one, but there's the 2Bs, and you can see the 2Cs are a little bit smaller. Partly, they've got a nice veranda there, a nice view of the curve of the ship, but they're a little bit smaller.
Oh, this is a great question from Autumn. All of these rooms sound great. How the heck do you decide which suite to go with? That's where Tammy's team probably comes in, right?
Yes, we can help you we can prioritize, what's most important to you. Is it 2 bathrooms? Is it more separate beds for everybody? Square footage? Is it the veranda? Is it the view? Absolutely, we can help you. We can help you pick. And sometimes you won't be able to pick and you'll just have to go more than once.
Yeah, true. Oh my gosh. Yes. What a problem to have. Love that. What about 2A?
2As are Concierge Suite with Oceanview veranda. So these sleep 6. They're 1,059 square feet. There are 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and they do have a veranda again. And there are 2 of these, only 2, and one of them is themed for Anna, and one of them is themed for Elsa. So, and you can see I've got both pictured there. You can see the purples there, the Elsa, and then you can see a little bit of what the living area looks like in the Anna theme.
Disney with these staterooms and the theming, gosh, is that not incredible? Oh my goodness.
I think it's a really fun touch. I'm really glad that I love the classic staterooms on the first 4 ships, but it's really fun to have these movie themes, that we all know and love inside your stateroom, and in a very subtle way. It's not, there's not giant Anna cutout sitting on the bed or anything like that, or all over your sheets. It's very tasteful and it's subtle, but it's there if you're looking for it.
So true. Yes, the tasteful decor is not in your face. Disney, there's not characters popping out from everywhere.
So there are the 2. There, it's the brownish gold color there in the middle. Those are these 2 suites that we're talking about, 8,100 and 18,100. These numbers are so big.
No.
18,200. So 18,100 is Elsa themed and 18,200 is Anna themed.
I was going to say, I feel like I have a hard enough time remembering the 4 numbers from the staterooms. So Lord knows I'm going to need help remembering all these ones, but that's how many staterooms that they have. The ship is a big one. And what
26.
about
Crazy, yeah.
yes? What about category 1B and 1C?
1B and 1C are 1 bedrooms, and they are ocean view, no veranda on these. The 1B is bigger. The stateroom itself is bigger. It has 1,256 square feet, but it only has
Okay.
1 bathroom, and it sleeps 5. So
Interesting.
so 1C is a little bit less expensive, and it's a little bit smaller. It's 822 square feet, still very big, but it has 2 bathrooms, and it has one of those elusive tubs on board. Yeah, and it's like 6.
I was going to say there were quite a few people who were upset about the tubs in the beginning when we were talking about it. So it's very curious design choice, but
Yes, it is. I'm with you. I'm with you on the tub outrage.
yeah, yes, I know. I started just boycotting. Oh my goodness. Okay, and these locations just look incredible.
Yeah, and these are the two. The 1C, there's only one of them there, and then the 1B, you can see it's much bigger. But the 1C, the way it's laid out, it had more room for bathrooms and whatnot. So the 1B is an interesting shape there on the. But boy, what great views!
I mean, just incredible. If you enjoy spending time out on your veranda, I mean, I feel like especially if you're traveling with a bigger group, I'm thinking those multi-generational parties. What a great way to have a space that you can all get together on your own and have that extended veranda just to socialize. Oh my goodness. Oh, Disney in their rooms. Gotta love it. And what about 1A here?
So 1A is always the Royal Suite, and well, actually, it's the Tower Suite on some of the ships. But 1A is going to be your most expensive stateroom. Usually the most desirable stateroom, depending on what you want. So this is the Concierge Royal Suite with the Oceanview veranda. So definitely has a veranda. It sleeps 6. It's huge. It's 2,461 square feet. I mean,
massive. That's like the size of my house.
it's bigger than a lot of houses. It's certainly bigger than some houses that I've lived in. And it's ginormous. It's the biggest stateroom in the fleet. Even the tower suites are just right at 2,000. So
insane. Oh my gosh. I mean, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna go for it, you might as well sail on a royal suite, right?
Might as well. It has 2 verandas. One of them has a hot tub. And then the second bedroom has bunk beds, very cute bunk beds, which are hard to see in that middle picture there on the bottom, but there's bunk beds in one of the rooms that are very cute. There's 2 bathrooms and there's a tub in this one.
Oh my gosh. Win, win, win. Love that. And then somebody's asking, Valentina's asking which ocean view would be best, port side or starboard side, since currently itineraries are just sea days. Interesting question.
Yeah, since they're just sea days, I'm going to say that it probably does not matter. The only thing that may, drive your choice is which direction it's going to dock in Singapore. And since we don't really know that yet, I hesitate to guess on that. We'll know that pretty quickly. But also when you're docked, it's very easy to walk around on the top and, look on all sides. So I would say since it's all sea days at this point, either side is going to be great.
So true. And I know some people were a little bummed about it being all sea days, but you made this point on your Instagram stories. And if you're not following Tammy, you should be. But, a lot of these cruise lines are making the ship into the destination now.
Mm-hmm. It's true. They are. And I think that's absolutely what the adventure is here. They're thinking that people are going to come to see the ship, and there's so much to see and do on the ship that it would be hard to add in some port days. Most people are not going to want to get off because they're not going to be able to feel like they have time to see everything on board. But it will be interesting over the next several years to see if they start adding in ports or if they're going to keep this up and just keep doing shorter cruise with all sea days.
Yes, I was going to say, I'm very curious to see how that trend continues. Lots of people saying that they love sea days. They love the chance to stay on the ship, love to explore the ship. I'm right there with you. I think it's nice to have the option for ports and port adventures, but with how incredible these ships are. And I know that there's somebody watching right now and they're like, man, this ship seems incredible, but that is a long way to travel for me. So how do you have that conversation with your travel clients about why a visit to Singapore is so worth it.
Yeah, it is. It's a long trip, and I probably would not recommend going over, and doing just a short cruise and turning around and coming home. I think if you were going to invest the time to get over there, and it's a lot of time from our part of the world, for sure, that you need to make it worth it, and you need to, if not do a back-to-back on the ship to see a lot of the ship, at least add on some days in Singapore, maybe add on some days at Tokyo Disney, in Hong Kong Disney, just use some time to explore that part of the world, and don't make it just about a few days on a ship. Make it worth your while to see as much as you can of that area, because there's a lot of amazing places to see over there.
Yes. Oh my gosh, such a good point. Make it a true trip, not just a quick long weekend, because I've heard such incredible things about Singapore and how amazing the people are, the food, I mean everything. So
Yeah.
I think we should all go. I know it's a long flight, but flight schmite, you're fine.
That's fine. Yes.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I think I forgot to say on that last slide, they're also Anna and Elsa, the two royal suites, they're Anna and Elsa. And so the two Anna suites are grouped together and the two Elsa suites are grouped together. So if you should want to have both at some point, you could have this massive, massive
Yeah.
fully themed area.
So cool. And I'm assuming these little doors right here, meaning you could get connecting staterooms with these suites.
I'm assuming that as well. Yes.
Nice. Okay. So you can have all those bedrooms, all that space, the tub, the hot tub. I mean, what a win in those suites. I love that. And let's see if I think we got to all of the questions as we were going through. Somebody asked, what stateroom are you sailing in when you go on this ship?
So I am sailing in that 3A, the pink one. That's the only one of it with the giant veranda and the hot tub. I guess since I can't have a bath at night, I'll just have to get in my hot tub.
Yes. I was gonna say, oh yeah. Oh.
I am doing that one on a short cruise on a 3-night, and then the other one, it is one of the low. It's not an inside concierge. I've forgotten now which one it is, which one I'm doing, but it's another concierge. I really thought I wanted to see, as the concierge area looks so huge, I wanted to be able to see it all and make sure I had enough time there. In addition to seeing the rest of the ship, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything there. So, I'm going that far. I'm going to try it. I also am splitting it with friends, which makes it much more affordable.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say, those are the best friends to have, friends that you can travel with. Oh my gosh. I am so excited. Thank you so much for taking the time to walk us through all of these. I know that it's definitely overwhelming for folks who are just used to inside Oceanview, and there's so many new categories to choose from. And as much as we love Disney and we love Disney Cruise Line, when you're on the website and you're poking between the different categories and staterooms and decks, and then you have to be bounced back out, it can be stressful. So please reach out to Tammy and her team. This is what they do. They live and breathe Disney Cruise Line and helping you plan the best Disney vacations, and not just Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, Adventures by Disney, you name it. So I am so excited for this ship. Lisa's asking, we can finish on this question. I love the magic and the wonder. Worried about ever trying this ship. It just seems so huge. I feel like I'm going to feel swallowed. Do you like ships that are this big?
I love new ships. I've said many times, I love new ships. And so, whereas I might have a preferred size, if you give me a new ship and that's my choice, I'm going to take the new ship. And so I'm very excited to try it. I've done the Royal Caribbean, like the giant Star of the Seas that I was just on last week. It's actually bigger than this. We think of this as the most giant ship that ever was. In reality, it's not. It's those two Royal Caribbean ships, the Icon class ships, are much bigger than this. They're a decent amount bigger than this, and it's just really big for Disney, and really different for Disney. And it will be interesting to see how well it does. And if it does really, really well, is Disney going to think about, building something for our market as well one day? I don't know. So yes, your first time on a much bigger ship will probably be a bit shocking. You may love it, but it is a bit shocking. But that space does come with some benefits, like lots more activities, lots more restaurants, more things to do on board. So there are benefits to having a bigger space there.
Yes, and pros and cons to all. I love the magic and the wonder too. I'm right there with you, but trying something new is always fun. And, I think what we found with the Wish class ships is a lot of the spaces on board might be, there's a lot more of them, but they're all a little bit smaller. So you can
Yes.
kind of find areas that are just for you. And, if you like more of the secluded energy and vibes, then Tammy and her team can help with concierge. I mean, the concierge lounge, you were saying the concierge spa. There's ways to find those little corners of the ship that make it feel less chaotic, and it means people are spread out more in more places.
Right.
Pros and cons to everything to consider. But Tammy, thank you so much again. If you are ready to plan your Disney cruise, whether it's on the Adventure, whether it's on one of the Wish class ships, the Magic class, you name it, please reach out to Tammy and her team. They're here to help. And like we said in the beginning, their planning services are actually free for you to utilize. So reach out, let them help take the stress out of your planning so that you can actually enjoy the countdown to your cruise and be prepared once you're on board. Because like Tammy's saying, she's sailing on the ship very soon, like within the next couple of months. So she'll have the inside scoop into everything to expect once you're on the ship. Tammy, thank you again. And we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye, guys.